What's up, guys? How we doing? The streak is over. I lost it. Unfortunate, I know. So yeah, today we tried something different today. I wanted to try and push the Deepsea King Turbo build further and try and expand upon it and get it to where the deck can abuse other cards like Deepsea Diva. And yeah, basically wanted to, kind of remove the Pikes from the build and have the Diva, so we have those one card starters, but then still have the Deepsea King package to be fully functional and live at the same time. That's what I was going for with this list. And it just didn't seem to. I don't exactly know what the problems were. This is gonna be a great week to look at the matches. Round one, I played against Labyrinth, and I did not win that. I lost round one to Labyrinth, and then round two, I played against Krishron. I got that one, and then I played against Branded. Round three, I got that. Then round four, I played against Sharks. I lost, and then round five, I beat Pure Rizal. So, yeah, that was the day. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about how the deck functioned. I need to look back at my losses and see what the causes of those were. There's a couple notes I do see on this list I do want to work on and change, and we'll go through that once I go through the profile. But yeah, overall, I still think that the deck has potential, but I wanted today to go smoother than it did. But yeah, we'll just hop into it. All right, yeah. So here we are. This is a 43 card list. And I think my first point here is that I maybe had gone a little too low on the non-engine, and that'll be something I need to correct going forward. That I wanted to play high impactful hand traps and board breakers, and just kind of limit the non-engine I open to like 1 to maybe 2 a hand. That's kind of what I was hoping for. And again, I don't even know if that was bad or not. There's actually a lot of hands where I opened multiple hand traps, but there's a lot of games where I didn't open Charmies, and that seemed to be where not opening one hand trap and not being Charmies seemed to be an issue for the day. Well, I think I'll have to go back, but yeah. Well, I'm sorry. We'll get into the list. So, first card here, 3 Deepsea Divas. So, yeah, Deepsea Diva was the main focal point, not the main focal point of the deck, just the main card I was really hoping to be able to test and abuse, because what the awesome things about Deepsea Diva are that we have another one card starter now, and it's a little bit better than Undyne in a way where you don't have to have the brick for it. Although Undyne might have actually been a better normal summon than Diva today, just because Undyne gets that dump, and sometimes just getting the graveyard dump can be impactful. Although there's the thing is that whether you play Undyne or Diva, they're both kind of losing to the same roughly the same hand traps. I guess Diva not as much. Undyne not as much, because the dump lets you basically put them on Impulse for squad or Ash for squad and Dragoons, where with a Diva you get hit by you can get by Imperm Veiler, Ash plus Impulse, so there's a lot of targets for it. It did resolve a few times a day, but I don't think it ever resolved where it really mattered, so it'll be hard to say to go back. I'll be looking at the Divas to maybe they just need to be removed, or maybe I need to try the Undyne package instead. I think that's also a possibility. It's just I don't want to have to play Gen Controller, so that's my one issue with the Undyne engine, is have to play a literal vanilla brick. So I don't love that. But yeah, overall, Diva was an interesting card today. We'll just need to review to go over it. Now on to our Atlanteans. Played Triple Prince, Triple Shrine, Triple Dragoons, and Triple Poseidon. So yeah, first to note here, no infantry in the main deck. I do have infantry in the side deck, but I wanted to go in with the idea that I want to minimize my bricks as much as possible, and magnify my playable hands as much as possible. And what that would include is removing cards like infantry, where yeah, it's a playable card, but at the end of the day, infantry is still a brick, and we're not required to main deck infantry to actually win the game. And since it's not a requirement to be able to win the game, I deemed it as a card that is not necessary to be in the main deck. I look at infantry a lot like Moonland right now. I think infantry and Moonland are amazing cards in the side deck. I think those are the kind of engine cards we want in the side deck, because well, if you're playing Statue, I guess I do play Statue in this list, and Statue still overperforms every time. But yeah, so no infantry in the main deck. I honestly loved it. I mean, I was definitely never came up where I was missing it. So we definitely definitely like the infantry and the side deck going forward. Other notes here, really just Poseidon at 3 here. Yeah, I decided to main deck the Poseidon at 3 because and you would think, oh, maybe it should just be 2 Poseidon, 1 infantry. I disagree, because you have to look at what you're sacrificing for what you're gaining. So like, if we do make this a infantry instead, that is no longer a card that can send squad or dragoons to summon. It is no longer a starter board breaker extender going second. It is also not an extender or have any like real playability going first. And so this just seemed like the better line. Honestly, one of the issues with my deck today I noticed was I was opening a lot of like the little guys, like multiple dragoons and multiple squad, but not enough of my discard enablers like the Poseidons and Teus. So definitely it never hurt to be maxing out on this card. I may have saw multiples one time, but it didn't ever really matter, and opening it going second is insane. And yeah, so I really like the lineup for Atlantean. This is definitely the way I'll be going forward. Potentially, like if I want, so that, like I said, the list is currently 43, and potentially as I try and get it down to a closer number like 41, 40, that there is room to at least address the Poseidon and maybe consider it as one of those cards you cut that you just don't need to have 3 of. But I will be hesitant to do that. So moving on, going to the Mermails here, triple Teus, 1 Pike, and triple squad. So yeah, the big point, the really big point I wanted to test out here was, so by adding the divas, the issue with playing divas and the triple pikes with the Deepsea King build previously was that when you do that, you play 3 pikes. Even 2 pikes is still a lot. So it's like potentially you're playing 3 pikes, 3 divas, or 2 to 3 diva, and then 3 prince. And so you're looking at like 8 to 9 normal summons, and I want to try and minimize that as much as possible. And so I knew that if diva had to come into the diva was going to come into the deck in some way, shape, or form, either Deepsea King has to go or the pike needs to be reduced. And so I decided that you could get away with it because there are other flexible fish targets available, and and I didn't want to have multiple normal summons, and so I was very happy with Pike at 1 today. This honestly performed just fine. I definitely did not miss opening additional pikes, although this will be something I need to look back at in my matches to see the times where I opened my other fish targets, what that would have looked like if it was Pike, but hard to say. I think one thing I will note in terms of like lowering or trying to make the deck more consistent, get it closer to 40, was I don't need 3 divas. There were a couple hands today where I did open multiple diva and prince, and which is the same issue as opening multiple pike in prince, like if you're not playing diva. So it's kind of the same thing, but I think at least diva could be a 2 of. I don't think it needs to be maxed out at 3 if I can't get the deck under to 40 or under. I think that would be fine. But yeah, so pike at 1 performed great. I wish I saw Teus more often. Teus was definitely a big card for me today. Anytime I did have it, today I just opened a lot of like the small guys, and having more of these have always been helpful. And then 3 squad, I mean, this is pretty standard. It's a starter in the deck, so we're definitely gonna max it out. I can understand why someone might want to theorize with playing 2 squads. I just think it's too necessary, and like you just need to get your deck going. But I can understand the logic for wanting to put that down to 2 potentially. Next, let's play 1 minstrel in the main. This is great. Never have issues with this. This is kind of standard at this point, that minstrel is 1 of in the main, and you side the extra copies and go in first. And then for my Deepsea King engine, played Deepsea King of course, and then double harpooner and butterfly fish. So these are my fish targets, and the reasoning I picked these were because when we get rid of all the pikes, we no longer have a guaranteed pike to summon with our baby croc from the Deepsea King effect. And so with that, baby croc becomes a lot less valuable depending on what other level 4 fishes you're playing. And so I chose to play double harpooner as my other fish targets in lieu of my 2 other pikes. And the reason I chose this was for a few reasons. One, this does enable synchro 8 plays, which, you know, not that the main reason is, but the main reason actually is that harpooner not only is all these 3 fish targets are utility cards, where before it was more normal summons and it was baby croc who was like an additional extender. And so I wanted cards that acted as utility for the rest of my deck, so if I do end up opening my fish targets, they at least assist the rest of my natural engine. And so the cool thing about harpooner is that you know, technically there's a world where you can summon Poseidon from the deck, or if you're dealing with multiple normal summon hands, like let's say you open like harpooner, prince, and diva, you can like harpooner summon prince if they like deal deal with, or you can like start with like normal Diva and then like bait out a hand trap and then go Harpooner, summon Prince from hand. So like those are scenarios I was thinking, as well as like if you're ever opening, you know, if you're ever opening like multiple Pike and Deepsea King, well now there's highly likely that I did actually do this today, I believe, where I opened Harpooner and Deepsea King, and opening Harpooner Deepsea King is kind of crazy just because it turns on, it just, you have to have your engine online right there. As well as like it can summon like statue from your hand, summon Poseidon like we showed. It can summon what Pike. So I like the utility it has. It can make level 8 synchro plays, and since its attack is 400, it can be summoned off cold enemy, which makes it live for like the Deepsea combo doesn't really change. You just play one less card in the extra deck, and then so then the level 3 target, since we're playing this fish target, which is also a tuner, we cannot play Baby Croc, which is like the only sad thing. Like there's a world where like I wish Harpooner was not a tuner, honestly, because if it's not a tuner and it still does like the send from hand to summon, then this would definitely be Baby Croc still, because Baby Croc is definitely a really strong card. There were times of day where I like top deck Butterfly Fish, and that felt really bad, where if you top deck Baby Croc, you can like normal it and then summon from your grave and start extending, and so that was sad to miss. I did top deck this card a few times, and then towards the end of the day I actually started siding it out. Not sure how I feel about Butterfly Fish. You could maybe get away with just playing the 2 Harpooners and the Deepsea King and the 1 Pike, and maybe don't even need the level 3 at all. It just makes the Donna combo not so much harder. It just means you have like you have to technically use your free resource would have been like Coral Enemy, where it could have been used for like a rank 4 play or some type of extension. Now it would have to be used for a level 3 summon, which might be fine. I have to go over the combo again, and maybe I can go over it at the end of this video, and I can check again for myself. But yeah, so these are my utility fish options. And Butterfly Fish, if you guys don't know what it does, it has 2 effects. You can do one of them per turn, but not both. One of its effects, if it's sent to the graveyard to activate a water effect, you can just add it back to your hand. So it helps, like, so it's like instead of drawing Baby Croc, you draw this. Well, it basically offers you those helps you solve those awkward hands of like Shrine, Pike, Teus. And so, you can like discard this to summon Teus. Teus will add, this will add back to hand, and now you have your Pike to then, discard a card, and now like this helps the card economy, we know, with like Poseidon, Deepsea King. And so it's like if you draw it, oh well, at least it's like gonna allow you to make the rest of your deck play a little bit smoother, because you'll have a nicer card economy. Its other effect is if it's in the graveyard and a monster set from your field to the grave, you can discard a card, especially summon this. So that's kind of cool too. It acts as an extender when you're breaking a board. If your opponent deals with your stuff, you can discard like even an extender from your hand, and then summon this back to the field, and now you just have another body to continue to play with. Plus you might actually get like a legitimate trigger off this, which I think I did do today. So that was legit. But yeah, so hard to say with these cards. These are ones I'll definitely have to go back and look at. I want to say at face value, these cards did not feel bad. Too bad, but then I think there were times where I was in very, very simplified game states, like during a brick, where I think I was like top decking these, and maybe top decking Pike would have been better. I'll have to go back and watch, but yeah, so that's like the real question is like, can you really switch out the fish targets for the Deepsea King build, or does it have to be Pike? And like just playing these cards, even if they're utility cards, are they still just bricks at the end of the day? That's something I'm gonna have to check for. Maybe you can get away with cutting this and literally just not even playing a level 3 and just playing like double Harpooner Pike. That might be fine. It would still get you double toed too, since it is a 400 attack, which means you can summon it back off an enemy. So you could, with like just Deepsea King, 2 Harpooners, and Pike, still get double toed. But yeah, and then for when we play our statue for the win condition, every single week I'm more convinced that this is the better option over Mulan. This card is insane. And I open it multiple times a day, and just like when you open this card, it's actually insane, because if you open this, where I did this 2 or 3 times a day, if you open this, you still go into Donna, you just don't even need to summon anything off of it. You just summon the statue off Coral, and then because if you open it, you just discard it for like water fodder, and then when you send this card to the graveyard, you can target a banished card your opponent controls and put it back in their deck. So today I was able to like snipe a Droplet and snipe a Thrust. You can target the cards you want to get rid of, and so that was kind of nice. So opening this is like kind of crazy. Yeah, so we like statue. And then I played double Deepsea Aria for additional consistency, as well as this also helps get to the babies, and like Prince and Diva and stuff. And then there's a lot of synergies where, like, synergies with Harpooner, there's synergies with Perulia, There's synergies with like a Deepsea Diva, because you can normal summon Deepsea Diva, it get ashed, and then you can link it off for Almirage, and then gets Diva in the graveyard, and then you can Deepsea Aria for a baby, and usually have like, and so like if you have a baby in hand, then you can Deepsea Aria to search a Minstrel, and if you don't have a baby in hand but you have like a Tejas or Poseidra, then you can search your squad, or you'd probably search squad that instance normal Diva. You would like, if you have Tejas or Poseidra, you add squad, and then discard squad to some of your extenders, and then your squad can summon Prince. Overall, this is another card that definitely performed fine. It wasn't bad. It's just like if I want to get closer to 40, maybe this card just becomes a one of. So maybe I play like 2 Diva and 1 Deepsea Aria. That's definitely a possibility going forward. So like even like right now, I play 43 cards. I could go like cut this, cut Butterfly Fish, cut one of the Divas, and then right there I'm at clean 40, and that might make a difference in terms of seeing my non-engine, which I think was the hardest part of the day. And so that was the engine. Overall, the deck was really consistent. I had no issues with like playable hands. I think I had issues where like I played through too many interruptions, too many hand traps, and I was on top deck mode, and top deck mode was not great. And like I said, maybe just not opening enough non-engine. Hard to say. Got to go back on the ratchets in this one. It's gonna be a very interesting few rounds to look at. It's because there's a lot to go over. The deck feels very different from the previous Deep Sea King build, and but I do think there's potential here still. So yeah. Into non-engine, like I said, this is the lowest part of the deck. I played 13 non-engine. We'll go over that. So I did play my 5 Charmies. I do not own 3 wind. If I did, I would definitely play the 3rd wind Charmy. I think that's super important to have these maxed out. The Prulia is way more important than the Fluros. Opening Prulia is insane. It's just this deck, this Prulia fixes so many problems with the deck. It fills a lot of the holes. You know, just being able to make it to where your non-engine is actually just like fodder water. The fact that like you go second, you drop Prulia, and then you're drawing into engine, but if you draw into Deepsea Aria, then Deepsea Aria becomes an instant starter because you can banish the Prulia from your graveyard. The fact that it's also just a coral target, so it's like this is like the perfect utility water. Looking at like a card like Harpooner, like if Harpooner, like if this card was a fish, then this card would be absolutely broken, because then you just wouldn't even need to play Harpooner. You would just play 3 Prulia and it'd be insane. Yeah, so moving on. We played 3 Ash. Obviously, yeah, we are back on Ash Boss. Ash Boss is crazy. Definitely have to main deck this. Just deal the Charmies. It hits so many good cards right now. And yeah, so we're definitely maining that card. And then I played 3 Droplet in the main. Droplet felt fine too. Whenever I saw it was great. I wish I saw it more often. But then there are other times where I did see it and it didn't really help. Like, well, it wasn't even bad. I saw it against Lab and it was not good against Labyrinth. But I also could have played better and better utilized this card. So I don't even think it was the card that was bad. And then my last 2 hand traps were just double impulse. I actually decided to side the 3rd one because it was just like going through like test hands on DB, like prepping for this, I just kept seeing too many non-engine, so I wanted to slightly decrease it, and I decided that Impulse was probably the least important card out of these non-engine cards, as well as this out of all the non-engine, this is probably the worst one to open multiple of. Because even opening like multiple Ash is like never like the worst thing in the world, because you can use one for a Charmy and then use one for your opponent's turn. So it's like it has a lot of utility there. Impulse is good too, multiple turns, but it's just not as impactful as the Ash, just against like all the matchups. At least the matchups I faced against today. But yeah, this was the non-engine lineup. Looking at this, it's not even that I really feel like I want to increase it. It's more so I just wish I saw more of it. Like I just wish my deck was just a little bit thinner. I think that's a big part, was the 43 card list. Because with it being that much, there should have been more non-engine here. I think this non-engine is probably fine. I just need to lower the deck count. Potentially, there are a couple things I'm looking at. Like I'm potentially looking at like maybe playing like one of Droll over where the 3rd Fluros maybe should be. So play like double Fluros, 1 Droll, triple Prulia, and maybe max back out on the impulses. I don't think I really want to do that. I think I was actually pretty happy with how often I saw impulse today. So this non-engine lineup felt fine. The only thing that might actually get added in here is maybe a single copy of Droll. I don't think I didn't really miss Imperm too much today. Maybe Imperm would have been good, but at the same time, looking back at my matches, I don't think it would have actually been that crazy. I think if I just saw these cards, I was always happy, and I don't think I want to see any other hand traps. Maybe Droll. Droll's not bad. But yeah, so that was the main deck, 43. yeah, so the deck was crazy today, honestly. In terms of consistency, it was very consistent, and I was very happy with that. I was very happy with the amount of plays I had. I felt like I had options at times, and like with the Deepsea Aria and the Deepsea Divas, I did like those cards, and so that felt fine. Droplet felt good. The non-engine when I saw it felt good. I think I just either it was just because there's no way both my losses just came down to bad variance. I don't think that to be the case. I think I just need to, like I said, guys, yeah, just lower the deck size. I think that definitely hurt my consistency for seeing multiple non-engine, and I think I was too afraid of seeing multiple non-engine when the deck could definitely afford to play more. Yeah, so on to the extra deck. I played one King, one Lacia, one Coral, one Almirage. So yeah, or Salamangreat Almirage. So obviously we play these. There's not much to talk about. I didn't miss any other cards, so it's fine. Don't miss Abyss Keeper. I don't miss Atlantis yet. I don't miss Second Coral, and then I played the one Almirage for the Diva line. It came up once in one of my test matches today as I was getting ready, but it never actually came up during the day itself. It really only comes up, it's kind of hard to open specifically Diva plus Deepsea Aria into like a hand interruption going verse. It's very specific, so maybe you don't need this. I would love to not play it, but I'm still not convinced yet. I still think I have to play this a little bit longer and really make sure if it comes up or not. At least one more locals. Then for my rank 7s, I just played each of the big guys. I would like to play more of these, but I just can't fit in this extra deck currently. There's 2 flex spots basically. It's this Almirage and then one of the synchros I'm playing. I guess 2 of the synchros I'm playing are technically flex spots. But yeah, so these all do fine. You play them every game, and yeah, those are good. And then double Bahamut, Dweller, and double Toad. It's just standard. Not much to talk about here. Those cards all get played, all stay. All right, lastly, we have synchros here. We have one White Aura Whale, one Donna, one Porpoise. First, we'll go into White Aura Whale. I played this over Monoceros because Monoceros doesn't really come up in the way this deck plays out, but the Donna is still needed for the statue. So I wanted an option for the Harpooner and Pike to go into. I didn't think I needed Dragite, but I did want something for going second. I wanted something to kind of help, push into detonators, or just be able to crash through multiple bodies, deal piercing damage, and I'll just board wipe. It seemed like a pretty cool card. I wanted to try out again. This card is always a very interesting card to come back to. Today I did not get to play it, and I don't know how I feel about that, so I don't have proper testing, proper feedback on it, because it just never got to come up. Outside of the fact that it never coming up is feedback, that my games never got to that point where this card was live, so that's important to take into account. Next, we play Donna here. Donna's insane. Donna is staple, honestly, at this point. It's a perfect extender, and it's a perfect enabler for some degenerate plays like Summoning Statue. So Donna was incredible today. And then Porpoise also never came up today, so hard to have true feedback on this. The game states just never kind of played out into this card. Plus, this card's not nearly as strong without the Baby Croc, because the Baby Croc kind of helps facilitate, Baby Croc can just summon back a level 3, and then you can synchro into Porpoise. Whereas with Butterfly Fish, you just have to actually get another body on field before this is live. So that makes this card not as good, for sure. Mainly, I was looking at this card, off of being summoned, off of using this to get into, because basically you have one slot for what do you want your Poseidra summon back to be. So when this card goes to the grave and then you summon back 3 waters, what do you want those waters to do? And there are some plays where it's summon the Crystron level 4 water, make a synchro summon, and then use one of your other level 4s to make it a rank 4. The other option is just to make Levy, add back Prince to hand so Poseidra's live, and then just use that. And then so I chose Porpoise because I felt it was more flexible in terms of being able to just make a rank 4 play, which is still good enough, as well as if you have Diva on board as well, that you could go. The idea was that you could have 2 level 3s, a Minstrel, a level 3 water, we'll just say Butterfly Fish, and then a Diva as well. So you can summon those 3 back with the Poseidra, and then you can go Synchro 3 Porpoise, summon back 2 Harpooners, make a rank 4 play, and then you can use Porpoise and Diva to make your whale, and so that would be a way I could clear games. Maybe that was a little silly, but that was one of the lines I was thinking of, and one of the additional reasons of why I thought Porpoise might be the best option. It just never came up though, so I have to look back at these matches and see how the things played out, and maybe my deck just didn't. Maybe my deck just had a hard time just getting going today. But yeah, so that was my synchro lineup. I didn't really miss any synchros. I don't think I ever missed Monoceros. Diva was more than enough. These two cards are technically like flex spots currently. I don't really know what I want to do with these yet. I don't think any other monsters would have come up, although I will be looking out for like, you know, level 10 synchros or maybe other synchro plays and see if they were better. Hard to say. Currently though, like the extra deck felt fine. It felt fine. Just yeah, I think it was more on the main deck side. And then the side deck was really nice actually. It was so the way I broke this out was 3 Lancia, my 1 Meowth, and then my 3rd Impulse. This is like my side in for basically Malice, and yeah, that's really all there is to it. This is my side. I basically designated my main deck was kind of mostly built to like handle a variety of decks, but probably centered around Yugioh and more so Dweller than anything else. And then yeah, so we designate 5 slots for the Malice matchup on top of what we already have in our main deck. And then I played Going First, you know, a Going First engine, which was double Minstrel to fill out the playset, as well as Call By and the Moulin as well. I was afraid of one, you know, other water players, which I did play against 2 today. Hilarious. So, you know, statue needs to be removed for those points, as well as, you know, people can side in Lancias to stop your statue line from turning on. And so if that happens, I want to have the Moulin, as well as, like, you know, you just, like, you know, when people are siding in, you know, game 1, not too worried about main deck droplets and dark rulers or anything like that, but, or like super poly, I guess. But games 2 and 3, you definitely want to be preparing yourself for that. And that's where I think you'd be main decking statue and Moulin, and just trying to guarantee those games as much as possible. Moulin is still strong. Not a bad card. I just think Statue's a little bit better in the main deck. And yeah, and so next we have like our Yugioh side, which was 1 Harpy, 1 Lightning Storm, and triple XYZ Encore. So yeah, just another 5 cards I wanted to have in versus that matchup on top of it's already in the main deck. I do like these cards. These are, and I would have liked to have the 2nd Lightning Storm. I just couldn't decide what I wanted to cut in lieu of that card, whether it was like one of the Minstrels. I did want to play my 15th card, which was the Infantry, which I really did like in the side deck. It was a perfect fit there, you know, because you really only need it when you're going 2nd. And yeah, you'd like to have it when you lose the die roll going 1s, but like your deck, you know, can already play anyways. So it's not like this is like stopping you from like winning. Like you might lose a couple percentages of games based off the very niche scenarios where Infantry was needed to out the board. But for the most part, you should also be opening more consistent hands overall that even allow you to play in the first place, where other times you might draw Infantry and be like, cool, well, this water's doing absolutely nothing. So yeah, the side deck felt great. No real complaints there. The side deck honestly might just get played again. There's really nothing I really see that I want to change here. The only thing I would potentially be looking at, I guess, is just cutting one of the Minstrels to play the 3rd Lightning Storm. But then when I was doing my siding patterns, like the 2nd Lightning Storm wasn't even coming up anyways. So this is probably just fine. This was a really good side deck for me, for at least my locals. I was very happy with this. But yeah, that is the list. And I guess we'll just real quickly show, you know, like what the end combo looks like. So if we just grab like a Perulia and a Prince, and I don't know if we need a discard or not, so we'll just grab a blank. But yeah, so if we are assuming we have like Prince, Water, blank, I don't even know if we need the blank or not. You would go like Prince, and then let's see here. So we'll go Prince effect. We'll send squad. And then we will add our Dragoons to hand. So we'll add Dragoons here, and then Pike effect, or squad effect to summon Pike. If I can find my Pike. Yep, so we'll summon Pike here, and then Pike effect, discard Dragoons. And this will grab us our Minstrel from the Dragoons and our Shrine from the Pike. So now we have these cards in our hand. I guess I'll put these down here. So now we have these cards in our hand. Next we'll go Minstrel. We'll pitch the Water to look at their hand, banish a card, and from here it's just go. So now we'll Shrine, tribute the Prince to summon our Deepsea King, and then Prince effect. We will summon back the Dragoons. This is all very standard from here. It really only changes when you get to the fish targets. So next we'll rank up. We'll rank up here into our Bahamut, and then we'll go Bahamut effect, detach Dragoons, specialing our Toad to the field, and then we'll activate Dragoons effect. Dragoons will search us Poseidra, and then we will discard Poseidra off the Deepsea King. So you probably don't even need this blank at all. This is just Water plus Prince, and this will summon you all of your fish targets. So we'll get our double harpooner and butterfly fish here. And next all you have to do is just synchro 7 into Donna. And then we can go Donna effect. We can target their banished card and then special statue to the field. And now you can go rank 7. You can go into Triana. And then Triana can special from our graveyard 8 Dragoons. And now you can rank these up into another Bahamut. Detach. Special totally awesome. And then you can go Dragoon's effect. And this will search your prince to hand for your Poseidon resummon. And then you can literally you could literally link off the Triana, go straight into a king, or you can go like Coral and just summon back any water, and then link that card off into king. But yeah, so you're ending on 3 cards in hand plus Prince for your Poseidra, untargetable, double Omni negate. You still have your attack boost or attack and defense boost buff, and you have your statue. And so yeah, this was like the idea of like how the Deepsea King engine is to resolve, and then Diva just kind of helps like make the deck a little more streamlined, make it a little more consistent by not requiring other cards in your hand. It's just the issues I came into with this deck was I think I was seeing too many engine cards, and I was I don't know, I really just think it was too much engine. My deck was always consistent, but I think it was overly consistent, and I think there were maybe too many redundancies. Like I think double Diva came up a couple times, like double Diva plus Prince potentially. I don't remember. I don't even remember if I actually had double Diva, but I think I just remember having issues with normal summons, which would have happened with Pikes as well, but maybe it just means you just need to cut the Diva down to 2. But yeah, so that was the deck. Thank you guys for watching. I'm still interested in this list, and I plan to at least play it one more week. I'm going to see what changes I can make and just go from there. What this really was good for, though, while I'm not happy that I did not do well today, I am happy that I now found a new challenge to take on, whereas I do believe that this deck is strong. I do believe I can turn this deck into something. I just need to put some more work into it, and just rather than be upset with how the deck performed, watch over the matches, learn from my mistakes, and just try and go as a player and deck builder. And yeah, this is what it is. This is the name of the game. This is what makes Yu-Gi-Oh fun. If I just won every single weekend and every deck was perfect and broken, well then what's all the fun in that? This is where the real fun comes in, because now I see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I just have to get there, and once I do, I'll feel a lot better. So yeah, that is the list. Thank you guys so much for watching. Look out for round 1 feature match the following morning, and yeah, we'll just keep it going. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace. Later.